Okay, now I'm recording. And a one and a two.
Huh?
Yeah, there we go. Now it's recording.
Before then. Missed all the good stuff.
I just talk about the interest rate. There's nothing good about the interest rates going up.
Well, no, my theory that somebody put a decimal point in the wrong place in an Excel document, and that made it all the way through management because management doesn't look at anything.
That's very
And then
possible.
got it and panicked and is like, oh my gosh, we got to raise interest rates.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah, but like
Everybody knows
if
management.
that logic stands to be like, actually what happened, then that person that noticed it never would have let the interest rates go up, right? They could have stopped it.
Well, no, but they don't look into it. They just react to what they see.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. So just because they put the numbers on the paper doesn't mean that they're the ones enacting it.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know, man. If like rates go up, it's not like people are spending money anyway. Everybody's bitching about inflation.
I don't know. I see everybody buying new cars everywhere, and they keep saying people's wages have gone up, and I'm like, whose?
Yeah, who's the 1%ers? Not ours.
Like my property taxes go up every year. I look around, there's nothing's improved. Like, what's going on?
And then you got businesses that are closing. You got places moving out of cities because of the theft and the loss they're suffering.
The system is broken.
Well, now the other thing is, I don't know if you saw that link I put in WhatsApp earlier. The city downtown, there was people protesting the immigrants because, like, factory workers who've been at these jobs for 5-10 years, whatever. Now these immigrants are coming in and getting jobs, like getting placed there, getting work visas. Well, yeah, they're probably getting the same wage or higher as this guy who's been there for 10 years.
No, I don't think so.
Well, so the one guy saw the article. The guy said the company worked out a deal with the government where it was like, we'll place, a dozen of these immigrants. Now the business gets a tax break, like tax tariffs and shit like that. So the only people who really suffer are going to be the workers because the company's still making money and they're paying less taxes.
Well, and they're probably not paying the immigrants as much, right?
Well,
isn't that what?
I mean, I think you'd have to, right? Because you got to pay them a fair wage.
Well, but not competitively with like the existing union workers.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess they couldn't because they're non-union. But what I don't get is like they were also giving these people like $10,000 for like the next 6 months to find places to live and buy stuff, and it's like, well, where does that money come from? Like, you're in my taxes, I guess.
Well, didn't we talk about that? Like kids who come out of college, they don't how do they get start unless their parents came with money?
Well, yeah, but like these are immigrants who like, illegally they're here, whether they want to be here or not. I mean, I guess if they came here, they had a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't, then you've got people who have been going through the process to become natural U.S. citizens for years, sometimes even like a decade, and they're still not citizens, and they still can't get decent jobs. They can't do things. They can't get loans because they're not citizens. It's like, and these guys coming on a bus from Texas because they don't want them, and they're getting money hand over foot.
Well, that's the American way.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
I don't know. But I never thought it never occurred to me that it's basically cheap labor because that's how they're going to be exploited. Yeah. That is now right down the street.
So they said now a lot of those guys, are going, well, guys and women, I guess, are going, or they were over the summer, they were going to these farm states and working on the farms because the farmers could pay them less to get their crops and all that stuff, and they'd give the guy, housing or room and board, but they wouldn't have to pay him 22 bucks an hour to go, till the
Right,
fields.
right. Because they don't need as much. Like we're
Well,
so
yeah.
material and we value money, so we want stuff. These guys don't want stuff right now, right? They're just looking to get by.
Yeah, but I wonder, like, that was the thing. So I worked with a bunch of guys at the last place that were warehouse workers, and they were here as citizens. They came from Mexico. They worked their asses off 10, 20 years in the warehouse, made a ton of money, had retirement funds. Then they just said, like, okay, I'm going back to Mexico. But like while they were here, they would send all their money down to their family in Mexico because, like, they were living like kings and queens down there with that.
Yeah.
And this
Lower
guy,
cost of
at
living.
45 says, all right, I'm done. I'm just going to cash in my 401k, maybe a couple $100,000, and he's going to go back to Mexico and live like a king.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
good for them. But like, those are the guys that wanted to work, that came here to work. Like these guys are here and I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're illegals. What happens? Like these guys, okay, fine, they got jobs, but are they documented? Are they criminals? I don't know what they are. Are they pedophiles? Who knows?
Well, definitely being in Chicago will trend towards more criminal-like activity. So
Yeah, I have a feeling that you kind of just roll with what you're given, and that's like 90% of these. They're going to be stuck being criminals or something. And that's
yeah,
sad because that's probably
we
the
don't,
truth, is they're gonna
yeah,
they're gonna
we
get
don't
sucked into
enable
it.
we don't enable people. We don't provide a way out. It just keeps happening and happening and happening, and everybody says, "Well, we can't do anything about it."
Well, and then now we got that cashless bail system going on.
Yeah, I, I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
they're what is it? They're basically letting people out for like minor offense. Like I think the only thing that basically you can't get let out of prison for is like murder, right? Or I mean like other, like if you get like armed robbery or whatever, oh, here's your court date, show up for it. These guys aren't going to show up for it.
I think we need to change. I think I've said this before. Like what we value, what the thing we're teaching is just not working. That's
No,
fine. Like we need to change it somehow so that it's not money and stuff, and then we don't get stressed out by bills and
but I think that's the problem, is like you
jacked
said
up
it.
healthcare systems and
Yeah, all these kids nowadays, that's all they see is the stuff. I got to have an iPhone, I got to have an Xbox, I got to have a PlayStation, I got to have an electric scooter, electric bike. Everybody's freaking got an electric bike because, one kid had it, and now 2 years later every kid in my neighborhood's got a freaking electric bike.
I
It's
didn't have
it's
one.
and they're well, that's the thing, is they're like, there's kids that are like my grandson's age, so 9, 10 years old, riding around on $1,000, $1,200, $2,000 electric bikes, and these kids are
Those
at the
are
park.
those people are the reason we have inflation.
Yes, because they're doing that shit. Like, my grandson's like, oh, I want a bike, electric bike, and I'm like, I ain't gonna buy you. I can buy you 10 of the regular bikes for that.
Yeah. Actually, those regular bikes suck ass. They
Well,
fall apart. Man. Their
that's the
quality is
thing.
really
Yeah,
bad.
they're shit. Yeah.
It's that what is it called? Where they make it
Planned
break up
obsolescence. Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's like I swear I had my bike for like a decade or longer. Now they
Nope.
fall apart after like a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything
It's just
does.
garbage. We just
Dude, I
produce garbage.
just so I don't know, we've had this, our dryer, our washer and dryer. They're not matched, but they're separate. Like they're different. One's Maytag, one's like Samsung. The dryer the knob, like, so 3 years ago during the pandemic, the knob snapped off. And it's because they're cheaply made, and it's a design issue where, like, it's like a half moon shape and one side's flat, and the knob like slides on there. Well, the knob where it slides on, that little like post thing, it's hollow. So if you turn it the wrong way or it gets stuck, the knob snaps and then just starts spinning freely on the post. So it's like, I got to go buy a new knob. Well, they're like $30 online. Okay, so I'm on like my third one, and it's been like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, I just replaced the second. So the thing that they like mount onto, the little timer thing, how when you set it for, like dry, longer, shorter time, cool air, whatever. That thing, the little post that the knob gets onto is plastic. And 3 years ago during the pandemic, I replaced the thing. Well, guess what? It broke again a couple weeks ago. I just got the new part and replaced it last night or this night. It's like, and that was $100 for that little stupid little timer thing.
That's bullshit.
But I mean, like, what's a new, dryer going to cost me? $400 or $500, $600 or more. I mean,
a good dryer is like $1,000 or more.
Yeah,
you
forget
want
it.
One part in a couple of years, that's $600.
But even then, $1,000 dryer probably won't last that long. They're not designed to. You're right.
No, it's all bad. I think that when people write their reviews and negative reviews, they need to not call out. They need to call out like the management of the company, right?
Yeah, but I don't
like, lay out titles because they're not motivating or enabling their workforce to produce a superior product.
Well, but I don't even know that it's. I don't even know that it's the workforce. Like that guy that's sitting in that warehouse screwing the parts together. He's not making the parts. We're buying them from China. And in the in the instance of them, the business wanting to make more money, they're buying cheaper product. Thinner plastics, weaker metals, whatever.
Yeah, but we're choosing to use those.
Right. But like the people who work there, they're not making that decision. They're not buying. Maybe there's a guy in the purchasing.
Yeah, you go up. You got to call up the chain.
Yeah.
Right. You can't just say your company made a bad product because that's not. I don't think that goes anywhere.
No, I don't. How many of these places you see like, and the other thing is like, I don't
Googling CEOs' names.
Well, yeah, but like they're not going to care. I mean, it was for a while where like you could go to Twitter and publicly shame them on Twitter, and you could actually get responses back from these businesses because the reach was so much more than like a review on Amazon or a review on Google or whatever. But now, even then, like Twitter, they don't even care because, like, what are you impacting them? You're one person that may go, I'm never buying the product again. The other 100 people who bought it haven't had an issue.
Like in the early 2000s when that one email chain would go around and say nobody buy gas on Monday.
Yes. No. It's funny. I wanted to talk about this when Eric got on, but like the boycotting crap is basically what it is. My daughter said now that like on at her school there, like they were boycotting, Starbucks and McDonald's because they're saying they support Hamas or whatever the hell it is. I don't know how they figure that out. And she's like, they went and they basically damaged the restaurants and they had to close them. And I'm like, well, who does that hurt? That doesn't hurt Starbucks.
Right.
There's 300 million people living in this country, and what, 20 of them aren't going to be able to go to Starbucks now in that city.
Wait, how many people?
What, 300 million? We got 300 million people? I don't know.
Did you say billion?
Million, 300 million.
Okay. We'd be on top of each other.
Yeah. It's like 330 million or something.
Yeah. No, you're right. Because they're short-sighted. They're short-sighted. They don't see.
Yep. Well, they go, oh, I'm going to show them. I'm going to damage their restaurant. Well, okay, great. Maybe you shut them down for a day. That doesn't hurt Starbucks' bottom line one bit. You know, you would, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people stop buying them. That's not going to matter to them because there's a freaking Starbucks in every corner and every street. They're still making money. Crazy.
And they probably made an insurance claim.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And got a tax break. So those people probably helped the restaurant.
Yeah. Or the restaurant's going to be like, fine, we're not coming back. And who gets hurt? Well, the people that live in that area, the residents, the people that go to that school, because now they don't have that place to go. You got kids that had jobs there. Now they can't work.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, what are you going to do? I mean,
yeah, they need a leader. Go down there and lead.
I think the problem is, you know, it's funny because I asked my daughter, I'm like, well, what were they like? Why were they boycotting them? And she said it's because, you know, they think that Starbucks and McDonald's support Hamas. And she's like, I tried Googling it and all I find are like TikTok links to these people on, you know, videos talking about it. I said, well, there's your problem right there is, you know, ever since the pandemic, when people were at home and they took to, you know, TikTok to Facebook to YouTube to Twitter and started being social media people and influencers, that opens up their voice to like-minded people. And now you got, you know, hundreds of thousands of followers following this one person on TikTok, and everybody hangs on their last word. And all it takes is that person to go, oh, I heard, you know, McDonald's is supporting Hamas. Well, now all those hundreds or millions of people that, you know, watch that influencer are going to think that. And that's their quote unquote leader. It's not a true leader, but people don't fact check. That's the problem.
Well, yeah.
They got to do their own research. They got to understand. It's the mob mentality. You're right. They just go out and do because they see others doing.
Right. It's not smart.
I mean, what did they say during the protests in 2021 with like Black Lives Matter when they were marching around all the cities setting fire and looting and rioting? Well, okay, fine. Whatever you stand for, that's great. Don't do that shit, but don't do it in the neighborhoods where you're doing it to businesses that are, you know, Black-owned businesses in your neighborhoods. You're destroying that business for people that you live with in that neighborhood in what? In the name of something that you believe in, and that's the reason you're going to do it? That seems stupid. They were interviewing these shopkeepers in the inner city, and they're like, oh yeah, I recognize these people that come into the shop all the time. And, you know, that was the guy that was in here stealing the TV off the wall. Like, well, what the hell are you doing? That's like, that's your neighborhood. That's your people that, you know, your friends, your family that have that business that you just destroyed and they're not going to reopen. Like, how does that help?
Yeah. No, I get it. We need, I don't know. We need to like, you know, that happiness, that world, what's the world's happiest country, that index of happiest people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Was it like,
we need to roll that. We need to roll that into something, you know, like to incentivize us striving to make people to create a more fulfilling, to make it so that we're up there.
Yeah. Well, what? Finland's like number one.
It's always the Nordic countries.
Yeah. And everyone says,
happier.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, what do they have to worry about up there? You know, you got awesome views, you got great areas, you got
polar bears.
They're polar bears, there's socialized healthcare, whatever the hell you want to call it. Which, you know, it's like people bitch about it, but it's like you look at how many people live in Finland, like that's great because it's not a large population. Like, you know, maybe that works well for them because you don't have to wait in line to go see a doctor. You're not waiting 6 months to get checked out.
Maybe we need to carve up the United States into separate territories like Canada.
Yeah. So Finland is 5.5 million people as of the 2021 census.
That's a lot of land for that many people.
And Finland is only 130,000 square miles. The US is 3.8 million square miles. And we've got 330 million people living here. So
what's the ratio?
Do
the math.
I'm not good at math. I went to public school.
What is it? So you take
Be like 300, let's say 300 million people to 4 million square miles. So what is it? 300 million divided by 4?
I don't know. I also went to public school.
Because that would be about 75 million per square mile.
No.
That doesn't no, that doesn't make
75
sense.
million people per square mile?
75,000? Hold on. Let me
Oh man, we would be really friendly with a lot of people.
Okay, 75 people per square mile. If I take 300 million divided by 4 million.
So what's it for Finland?
You're roughly 75 people per square mile. So Finland is, how many people live there?
I don't know. You Googled it.
5.5 million. Finland is 130,000 square miles. So if I take 5.5 million divided by 130,000, that's 42 per square mile, roughly.
Yeah, so we have 30 more people per square mile.
Yeah, we're almost double in like way more land.
But that's not.
I mean, it's not. That still seems like a lot, but you know, it probably works better for them because, like, if you look at, you know, what's the complaint we have now? Like, you go to the hospital for something, you go to the emergency room, you still sit there for like an hour or 2 hours before they even get you in.
Well, I'm guessing they also eat healthier there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they probably do. Their air quality's better.
I wonder what their social media exposure is like. Like, do they give cell phones to kids in 6th grade or later?
Yeah, I don't know. It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. Hey, there's the cool guy.
Hey, there we go.
Rock Lobster.
I don't know what that was about.
What happened?
I don't know. There we go. I don't know what that was about.
What couldn't get in?
It showed no one was here.
That's weird.
And then I backed out and you guys are there.
That's funny. I don't see your camera either. Unless you didn't turn it on, that's okay.
There we go. Yeah, maybe I should do that, eh?
Hey, nice.
Long week.
Yeah, we were just talking about socialist healthcare in Finland.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't.
Thanks.
I can't say it's socialist, but they've got, you know.
Well, like, if they're always the happiest in the world, they got to be doing something, right?
Lots of drugs? I don't know. I have no idea.
High taxes? No thanks.
What makes Finland such the happiest place six times in a row now? The women? Are Finnish women like hot? I have no idea.
I thought wasn't it Norway or Sweden?
That's just Finland.
The Swedish bikini team?
Yeah, Finland for the 6th year in a row has been named the world's happiest country.
It's all their polar plunges.
According to the World Happiness Report, which is apparently a thing. Number 2 is Denmark.
Yeah, Nordic.
Yep. The Nordic countries all perform well and use to determine happiness.
We got to roll this happiness.
They're drinking beer out of their enemies' heads.
Oh, that's what it is. They're Vikings.
They're Vikings, you know.
The Vikings from Norway.
We got to roll that and incentivize our country to try and, you know, reach that goal. Let's be happier than those Nordic people.
I am happier than those Nordic people.
Yeah, but you gotta make that like contagious and spread that.
Well, it's not an index of just you.
Everybody quit being a jerk off to each other. How's that? We'll start this off. I'll choose violence.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'll choose violence when I'm trying to say just be happy and treat everybody nice.
We've seen how that works. Hey, stop it.
Yeah, quit. Just because someone might have an opinion that's different than yours doesn't mean you have to be an asshole to them.
Well, people are allowed to have differing opinions. It's just that when you try and force yours upon them.
Yes. It's okay
That's
to
where the
have a different
problems start.
opinion.
Well,
It's okay to even have a discussion about it, and it's okay to not like the other person's opinion.
Right.
But
but
once you
people in
start,
Finland
once you
probably have different
start,
opinions.
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
not. I
but
don't know.
they're not like smashing businesses and burning houses to the ground though, over that
And then they got
difference of opinion.
well, they do have that Finnish death metal that likes to, mess with
Yeah.
churches and shit.
Yeah. I don't
So
know. I mean, you think they care about, Hamas and Palestine, what's going on over there? I don't know. Maybe they don't.
maybe I would think so. I think anybody that
I think they would,
that's
but
human and cares about their
I'm
fellow man,
Maybe
woman, person, whatever.
I'm
You
also
know,
willing to bet they didn't send $100 billion to Ukraine over the last, 2 years either.
That's a whole nother topic of discussion.
That pisses off a lot of people here.
Like
maybe we
it
need to
should
take the
it should
show.
piss.
We should take the
What
show to Finland.
Yeah,
go to
there you
Finland?
go.
All right, let's go now. Well,
Let's
no,
go.
I gotta fly. I gotta take a boat because I'm not getting on a damn plane. So I'll meet you guys there in like 2 months.
We can always drug
I'll
you up
totally take a boat.
like Mr. T and
B.A.
the A-Team.
Baracus.
Yeah. I got him going
There
on
we
a
go.
little plane, Hannibal.
There you go. I like Rampage Jackson's portrayal
His
of Mr.
version. I ain't going
I
on no
like
plane.
I mean, Mr. T is not replaceable, but I like his version of Mr. T. I think he did a really good
Yeah.
job. Not that Rampage Jackson's people are ever going to listen, but
Maybe they will.
I'd love to meet that guy. Yeah, I'd love to meet him. I thought that movie was great, especially when they were trying to fly the tank
Oh God.
and faces in the tank and the turret like shooting. I love that movie. That movie's
Well,
awesome.
that was like the precursor to Fast and Furious, where we're at now, taking the cars into space and shit.
Yeah. Is that where Elon got the idea to send the Tesla?
There
up
you go. There you go.
I still think there's a dead body in that trunk.
He
Is
encased
that
it
where
in
the real
carbonite.
Elon Musk is?
He
Yeah.
he encased it in carbonite. That's the thing that he had sitting in the passenger seat.
The current Elon Musk is a clone. The real one is in the trunk. I'm gonna
Oh,
start
now
that
you're
rumor.
now you're
I'm gonna start
talking now
that
you're talking
conspiracy.
weirdness.
Hey, well, Patty Melt sent me a thing the other day. Kind of ties into the conspiracy where Elon and all that, but kind of doesn't. It's about conspiracy theories. I guess there's a thing floating around the internet where they say if you own chickens, chickens are a gateway to being a conspiracy theorist. Because basically, if you own chickens, you distrust the food system. And if you distrust the food system, you end up looking at big pharma. And if that happens, you see the tie in with the political system and how corrupted it is and how it's all tied into big pharma, food industry, and politics.
I don't see how big pharma and big food are tied together though.
Well, if our food isn't nutritious, then it's giving us the right vitamins,
Okay.
minerals, then, oh, here, take the pill.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch though.
Because Mancow was talking about that, 20 years ago, how the food
I mean, you
didn't
got
have the
you
same
got
nutritional
organic
value.
farmers that don't feed their cows and pigs and chickens any of that crap, and they're grass fed and free range, like
Well, if you think about it, when we're sitting there eating, you could eat like 14 bags of Doritos and not even think about it. Because your body's not telling you, "Hey, I'm full." It's
Yeah.
because the food doesn't have the nutrients.
Yep.
The corn, the tomatoes, the cucumbers. And I read something a long time ago that kind of makes sense, but I haven't really looked too far into it. The theory was that because we're not burning as much, we're not sending ash and everything up back, kind of recycling, sending it back up into the atmosphere to come back down and get into our soil.
Oh, so the nutrients and shit aren't there.
Yeah, so that was one theory that I read that kind of makes sense because we're heating our homes with natural gas. And we're cooking on
Natural gas,
George
yeah.
Foreman's and
Electric air
different
fryers.
electric air
Well-
fryers, microwaves.
Yeah.
I said that today. Somebody looked at me like I was on crack.
Also, like the free range cage free, all that stuff. Like, there's to what kind of like what Eric's saying. We've done some shit as a species, and there's stuff in the ground that those
Yeah.
free range chickens are eating.
They're
You
Yep.
eating
know
bugs. They're
that's
eating,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, so free range is great and grass fed, but
Well,
they're getting fed the same garbage that we are.
that
Like
whole deal
grains and
with
stuff, yeah.
they said was it the thing in Ohio when that train derailed and all those chemicals? They said
Yeah.
all those farms out there basically were like, what the hell? Because it's leaking into the ground, it's leaking into the water, the same water that they use to fertilize and water their crops and feed their livestock and stuff. And it's like, 10 years from now, you're eating a hamburger that came out of one of those farms. Who knows what the hell you're getting?
Exactly. And if you ever watch Prescription Thugs by uh, Chris, oh God, they're power lifters. They did Bigger, Stronger, Faster, Prescription Thugs, and Chris Bell is his name. He was saying that there is enough prescription medication out there prescribed to people, to everybody, where everybody in the US or the world can be medicated 24 hours a day for like a month or two.
Wow. I wouldn't doubt that.
And then, what happens? I remember, this is kind of gross, but I'm going to say it anyway. I remember when my dad started taking some of the heavier medication, and like the smell of his, when he would be done in the bathroom, that
Yeah.
changed. So.
Oh yeah, because God knows what it does to your body. Yeah.
Exactly, what's it doing inside? So I mean that's going into our water, and it's being
Yeah,
recycled
and
and
it makes
cleansed,
us. It causes us to go to the doctor, deal with health insurance, which is a pain in the ass, and it makes us less happy. There,
Yeah.
I solved it.
So we just have to be more happy.
Yeah, no, we have to be healthier.
I said this.
I mean, there's drugs that'll make you happy if you want to go that route.
Yeah.
No, that's not. No, you're jumping to the end. You're being like a doctor. You're treating the symptom and not the cause.
Take two of these.
Just don't get those stupid. I thought I was buying CBD from a trusted store.
Oh,
ended
no.
up not being CBD. I told you guys about this.
Yeah,
I
you
probably
got the
talked about it on the
THC
podcast.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the synthetic weed.
Yep.
I'm sure if I would have taken like a little bite, I probably would have had a different experience, but I popped the whole damn gummy. But
Well, yeah, because you don't know what you're. I mean, that's the other thing is shame on them for not telling you. Like when I went to that one and got the ones here for me, when I screwed my neck, it was like they asked me, they're like, "You ever done this?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Okay, this is what you want." Because I told them, I'm like, "I don't want all that other crap. I just want something for the pain." And they're like, "Oh, this is what you need." And
well,
I was
yeah,
like,
CBD.
okay,
I've
sure enough, yeah.
CBD before, yeah. CBD is great. I love CBD.
And the guy even said, he's like, "Oh yeah, they have like the like the what's the shit, like the Asper cream and all that stuff now that you roll on. They have that with that like CBD and crap in there." And he's like, "You got to make sure you get the right one, otherwise, you could get the one with THC." And he's like, "The next thing you know, your pain's gone and you're high as a kite."
Yeah, you're stoned out of your mind. Yeah, laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Telling your wife, "Are you mad at me? Please don't be mad at me.
Right.
I messed up. I threw up twice. I'm messed up. I slept great."
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'd probably give you that. You probably felt awesome, but
no, I felt like shit. I literally slept from like midnight. I took the girls to school, and then came home and slept till 3.
Wow.
So I slept for, I don't know what, like 15 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but yeah, I tell whether you're happy or not. I said this to. Well, I said it in front of one of the guidance counselors.
Oh no.
I can wake up and be pissed off at the world and hate everything and make my life miserable, or I can wake up and be happy and be thankful for everything, the 4 walls in my house, the little bit of A&W root beer that I have, the fact that I'm talking to my friends on a Friday night, the fact that the sun is shining.
Yep.
Well, not at the moment.
It's, right. Nighttime. It hasn't shined since 4 o'clock this afternoon.
The fact that we don't have bombs dropping on us, or whatever it is. I can wake up and be happy and kick the day in the dick, or I can let the day kick me in the dick. And no offense, I'd rather kick the day in the dick.
But even if you were mad at something, someone, or whatever, you know, you're the kind of person that's not going to let it determine and dictate your interactions with other people or at work. Like you leave that shit at home. Like
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We all get pissed off, and we all
Yeah,
have
but
a
like
shitty moment where we're like,
I
fuck it,
I
I'm out. I just gotta take a minute.
I think recently, like, and it's mostly like the younger, not like, you know, children generation, but like the late teens, early 20s, even into like the
Fifth grade,
30s.
yeah.
That generation, like they get so angry at like whatever, and they just take it out on everybody and everything they see. They go to work, they got that piss ass attitude, like, and then it just snowballs because then it's like, you know, you say something to your boss, you get pissed off, you get fired, and then they go and they rant about all that shit, and they, you know, they piss off more people. It's like it's just a never-ending cycle that some of these people go through, and it's like they don't know how to like leave that shit at the door when you go somewhere else.
Let it roll off your shoulder. Just let somebody be an asshole. You know what?
Yeah.
You know, we've had mutual friends that have been know-it-alls and just
Yeah.
pathological liars and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, even if you want to prove them wrong, let them be a fucking liar.
Well,
who cares?
That's the thing. Yeah,
bury
eventually
themselves.
someone's, yeah, they're gonna, like you said, they're gonna bury themselves. They're gonna hang themselves.
I did 200 miles an hour in a stock Fiero. Oh, okay, great, man. That's awesome. I'm glad for you. That's awesome. That must have been really fun, knowing full well that a stock Fiero, anybody will know that a stock Fiero is not going to do 200.
You're lucky to
Probably
get that
gonna
thing
be lucky.
above $120.
Exactly.
Going downhill
But,
with the wind at your back.
I'm using, as an example, let that person look like an idiot. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter.
Well, I
Somebody
think that's
stepped
the
on your
problem.
shoes and stuffs your Jordans. Unless you're spending $20,000 or shit, let's be real, $500 on a pair of Jordans.
But
Somebody made a mistake. Sorry, buddy. I apologize.
I
Okay,
see.
yeah, no problem.
That's the weird thing to me is because like you or I or Dan are not going to spend $500 on a pair of shoes, and if we did, I know I sure as hell wouldn't be wearing them out in fucking public, going out to the mall, going out doing whatever.
It's more like 2,100, but that's a whole nother discussion.
But either way, like, why would you like wear them out knowing that like I spent that much money on them, I don't want them to get scratched up or whatever. Like there's guys that do that because apparently like the whole sneakerhead market, like,
oh god, I love watching those videos.
Yeah, when they like buy shoes for like $200 and like 6 years later because they don't make them anymore, they're like triple the price. Great. That's like trading cards, whatever, Pokemon, you're collecting and selling and doing that. But if you're the guy who's spending $200 on a pair of shoes and knowing you spent $200 on that pair of shoes and then go out to the mall, go out to whatever, a concert, the freaking basketball court and play some hoops and get pissed when a guy steps on him. What the fuck did you think was going to happen when you wear those $200 shoes outside like that? Like that's going to happen to him. You either succumb to the fact that I'm spending this money and they're meant to be worn, they're going to get beat up, they're going to get scuffed, whatever, and eventually I'm going to have to throw them out, or I spent this money, I'm going to put them in a box and put them in the shelf for 6 years and make my money back. I mean, like there's no in between. You can't just have them and be like, oh, don't walk on my shoes. Like the world doesn't revolve around you, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I'm of the mindset of if I buy it, I'm going to typically use it.
Yes.
So
I get like some people like, oh, I bought a $1 million car and it sits in your fucking garage. Whatever, but like, you know what, the kind of people that have that kind of money that they could drop that money on a car or something crazy expensive,
drive
those are the kind of people I would expect to drive it because they could afford to repair it, they could afford to replace it if something happens to it.
Yeah, they can afford the $20,000 oil change on the Bugatti Veyron
Yeah, my
Shine rod or
$6,000
whatever it's called.
$6,000 a wheel freaking tire change every
Mhm.
6 months because it's they're they're rated to 220 miles an hour. It's like, come on.
And you can only go to the dealer, because you have to,
But
replace.
those are the kind of people that like I expect to do that because they can afford it.
Oh shit! If I pulled up in a Bugatti Veyron or the Chiron
Yeah,
CHI
RON or
something
whatever. Yeah,
that's $3 million plus. If I'm buying one of those, I'm driving that bastard as much as possible. I don't care if there's snow on the ground.
yep,
I work 600 feet from home. I'm driving the bastard.
exactly. I
I'm
don't,
driving it. Hour and a
Yeah,
half from home.
it
I'm
would be
driving
nice
it.
to say like, oh, I got a car that I keep in the garage and I pull it out during the summer because it's it's a classic car. But it's like I'm still gonna drive it. I'm still gonna run it.
Mhm.
It's like I don't get why people like Dan said they're so focused on things and spending their
Mhm.
money and buying the latest phone, the latest this, the latest that. Like
That they're not enjoying it. It's like recording a concert on your phone. Put your phone down and enjoy.
yeah. Oh, I want the memory. I want the fucking memories up here. What do you think we did, 30 years ago before phones were a really big thing?
Yeah, exactly.
We snuck those
Exactly.
big shoulder mounted VHS recorders in and
No
bootlegged it
comprende.
that way.
No comprende.
No,
Oh, before we get too deep, I guess we should say Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. So,
that's right.
since it's
Yes.
tomorrow.
Thank you for your service,
Yes, thank you.
past, present, and future.
I talked about because they did a Valentine's Day, a Veterans Day, uh, uh, like presentation or assembly at the school,
Yeah.
and last year I wanted to bring my dad because he was a veteran, and the guy that kind of ran it was like, yeah, of course he's a veteran, bring him up.
Yep.
I was gonna bring some of his ashes with,
Ah,
but
there you go.
I'm like that might be a little creepy.
Yeah. I mean, you can talk about it though. I mean, be like, yeah, this is my dad. He was a veteran, blah, blah, blah. People
Yeah,
appreciate that.
500 people,
Hey,
about
that's,
probably 470.
I mean, that's that thing. They did their service. They did their time. A lot of these people gave up, they gave their lives. They gave up, getting wounded. They gave up, arms, legs,
Hmm.
whatever. And it's like they deserve every bit of respect and shit that they get. I think it's like, I I think they tend to get a bad rap because like they come back and they don't get taken care of, but we could do better on them for that, but
Yeah, my uncle had like this much of a finger, like the little, tip of his finger blown off, and he gets disability.
yeah. Well, and see, so I didn't realize that. My brother was telling me so him and his wife both served Navy. They
Yeah.
both retired after like, 22 years, I think he was. So he
Hmm.
got the full pension. She did too.
Yeah.
Like they basically came back and they essentially, if they did it right, they didn't need to work the rest of their lives. But he's like, he's like, I got to get a job. I'm bored sitting at home. It's like, what are you going to do? Um, and thankfully, he did time overseas. He did shit like that. Yeah, I don't, I mean, he never talks about it. I don't know if he saw combat or anything, but he thankfully is still in one piece. And like,
Hmm.
he's like, there were guys that they get injured, and the way the VA categorizes it is like your stipend or the money they give you for that injury depends on the severity and how they rank it. So like, oh yeah, the guy loses a tip of his finger, he may not get that much because oh, he's still okay, he's still got
He may get 50
99%.
bucks a month. I
Right.
don't know,
But
how much.
the guy that loses his hearing, or the guy that lost a leg, or whatever, like those guys get more because somebody deemed it more valuable. I mean, like, to me that seems shitty. Like, just give them all the say and care.
Mhm.
Why would it be different from anybody, that guy versus the guy that didn't see combat and maybe worked in a shop, or
Yeah.
his wife was in the office, like she didn't do anything really in combat. She wasn't on the front lines or anything. So it's like, why treat them any different? They all did their job. They all served their time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, treat them all the same.
They,
Treat them with respect and give them the dignity and shit they deserve.
the VA did. They do a lot of goofy stuff. When
Yeah.
my old man got the handicap accessible minivan,
I said they helped them with that, right?
they bought it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
Well,
huge because those things ain't
yeah.
cheap.
No, yeah. Well, they had to buy the car and then they had to send it out, and they
Oh,
paid
dude, the
for prints and
conversion.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do the conversion, which is silly because we had to buy the car, and then we had to send it out and pay for it to be done. So whatever the car was and whatever the install was, I forget what it is, but it would have been like 15 grand cheaper if we would have gone to a dealer
And
that
just bought
had
it.
one
Yeah.
and bought it for like 20 grand versus like 40 grand.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
why can't we do that? Because this one's already done. We can use it now. We don't have to go buy the van, wait for the company to come pick it up,
Yep.
and then go do it. Well, we're not sure this. Dude, shut up. It's the same company that does it. It's like you guys
Yeah.
are just being retarded.
Well, so now let
basically.
me ask you, like, so now
Pardon
that
my language.
no, I mean, so like your dad passed, like,
Yes.
now what do you do with that van? Like, you guys are stuck with it. You got to sell it on the secondhand market. I mean,
Yeah, they sold it on the market. Yeah.
I mean, somebody could use it, I'm sure, but it's like, what? Otherwise, what do? You just stuck with it? Like, what the hell? I mean,
Pretty much. Yeah.
it seems like that they're willing to say like, hey, we're going to go this far and help you, but then it's like, you're on your own. Like,
And the amount of times that the place that built the car, when they built it, he got stuck in it probably like 4 or 5 times that I know of.
wow.
One was on Easter, I think it was. So I think somewhere in the spring. So I want to say it was Easter. He got stuck in a car. Luckily, their son, has some clue of 12 volt, the 12 volt industry and
There you go.
how to get things to work. Luckily, I was able to kind of get it open and get it working again. But I'm like, this bracket that should have been welded was welded like shit. I'm like, this is broken. This is broken. I'm like, this was a Friday job. Like, let's get it together, get it done, get it out. It's Friday. Let's
Yeah.
get the hell out of here. It's like, come on, guys.
Well, like
Put
Dan
some
and I were
quality
just
in.
talking about, the shit's also not made to last.
No.
You know, it's
Planned
funny.
obsolescence.
It's funny because we talked about that like before you got on. Like, I think, like, our parents, my dad used to say that even. I remember, like, oh, it's not built the same as it was back then. Like,
No.
I find myself saying that, but even back then it wasn't built the same that it was 40 years prior to that when our parents had to buy it,
Mhm.
I was telling Dan, I replaced the timer and the knob on the dryer for the 3rd time in the last 3 years. The freaking thing's all plastic. It just shatters, it cracks, it gets brittle, it breaks. And it's poor design. I mean, like, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a product designer. I can look at it and go, oh shit, I see why it broke.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's made cheaply because they skimped out on the product, they skimped out on parts, they used the thinnest and most brittle plastic possible, probably to save a buck. And who suffers for it? I do.
Yeah, exactly. We joke, being that I'm building maintenance, I get the luxury of trying to repair a lot of said things. And we used to joke that we would fix something, would be like, this is going to outlast pretty much everything else. Some people might call this rigging it or
Southern engineering.
southern engineering it, but we had a low pressure valve on one of the big industrial dishwashers at the resort. Well, the bell, the bottom of it screwed out, but it blew out. So I'm like, okay, how the hell am I going to fix this? Because we don't have one. They need this like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's a big dishwasher, and how are we going to fix it? It's still going strong.
Nice.
So
yeah, I mean, like, look at Dan's radio. Shit, that you bought that car, and it's like, how long did that thing last before it just, like, the solder joints on the inside of the radio, like,
It's like 8 years or something. Like,
yeah,
not
but I
long
mean,
enough.
who thinks that the solder joints are gonna fucking come undone? Like, what the hell?
probably a full solder joint, yeah. Oh, I think mine's starting similar.
Yeah, well, you have the same model radio, right?
Yeah, the 130.
I think you do. Yep.
The Uconnect 130. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think
I
it,
mean,
it goes along with the parts. Where people are, you know, skimping out on parts. We get cheaper parts.
Yep.
The
Yep.
workers aren't, how many, like, what percentage of workers do you think actually care about what they're producing?
None of them. I mean, if it's anything like the people that I interact with
Care about what
working,
I do at my job.
20%
yeah,
maybe. 20%
And I
maybe.
think Eric cares about what he does at his job.
yeah,
So some
I
of us do, but I bet a majority don't care
don't,
about
yeah,
the craftsmanship.
It's a Friday
Like,
job.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a
everything's
Friday job
Friday.
every day for these people.
It's a Friday job on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yep.
Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, or Sunday too, whichever.
Like, they just don't see a light in the day worth working towards.
They don't take pride in their work either.
They're
Maybe
just
be
boisty
happier.
boys.
We
Make
need
them happy.
we need a Willy Wonka to take over these factories is what we need. Those Oompa Loompas didn't have a care in the world, man.
And
Yeah,
how many
Oompa
of them
Loompas.
are like robots
Were they?
trolling them to kill?
Oh,
Right.
Were the Oompa Loompas robots?
No, not Oompa Loompas.
Willy Wonka
We
was the
can't-
pioneer of AI in the workplace.
Like, John, do you think the dryer was built by a person or on like a conveyor
Well,
belt?
So I think certain parts were probably like you can tell when you look at the way something's built. Like, so the dryer, because I had to take it apart to replace the belt once, which means like take it off the top and all that shit. And the top is like two pieces. It's like a big U shape, and then the bottom's the other part of the U, and they fit together to form the chassis. Well, the top U part was basically three pieces of metal welded, and the welds looked like they were fucking like done by a 2-year-old.
Probably
But
just tack welded.
that's what I'm thinking. They must have been done by like a robot because they're just probably churning these things out, and they're literally just welds on the insides corners of three pieces of sheet metal, and like
Yeah.
you could automate that line all day long, and churn those things out without a person being involved. Maybe they spot check, quality check every 100th unit that rolls off that assembly line. So
yeah.
they don't care that the other 99 are pieces of shit and falling apart and rusty or missing welds. They just care that one they're looking at passes the inspection.
Mhm.
And if the guy that's actually doing it has a bad day, or it's 4:30 on a
Hungover,
Friday, oh shit, I gotta
Mhm.
get out of here. Yeah, pass, and he just lets it go out the door. And every other one in that batch could be shit, and he just let them all go, and then
Mhm.
they like Dan said, they don't care. They don't care about their impact to the company, the bottom line, whatever.
Well, I think it's I don't know about other. We'd have to go to other countries. We gotta go to other countries because I don't know
Yes.
if it could scope to America or not. I just get a feel of.
If
I
you're
don't know.
making a nickel a day, do you think you're really going to care?
Well, that's the
about
thing. How many of
quality.
this shit is coming from other countries that are not getting paid living wages or slave labor or child labor? Like, I don't know where the hell my parts are made. I don't, they're not made in America. I can tell you that right now. They'd cost an
Well,
arm
what
and a
do you
leg
think-
if they were.
Yeah. Well, and what do you think these people in America are doing that like they're not getting hired anymore because
Right.
everything is like just going to grocery stores. Like that used to be a job for high school kids, right?
Yep. There's
Bag your
nobody in there
groceries,
now.
check them out. Now there's no one there.
Now
Yeah,
I
do
got
you
There's
use-
less opportunities for high school kids, and
I
then
got
You got to do
one-
a self checkout.
I got one register open, and that's the one they do for usually the older person. So like if there's alcohol, they tell people to go there. And this is at least like the Jewel, and all the rest are self checkout. And you got one guy that sits there and looks at them all. So God forbid 2 or 3 people have a problem, you got to wait while he fixes the other person.
I do not use self checkout.
No.
1, I'm not trained.
Yep.
2, I'm not getting a discount. And 3, no.
Nope.
Why the hell?
Hold on a
Why
sec.
are you not lowering? If you're going to lower your whoa, you guys all right? Dan,
yes,
okay, John, What happened? Technical difficulties, people. We haven't had technical difficulties since 1998 when The Undertaker threw Mankind off the cage in Hell in a Cell at
I can't
WrestleMania.
see. I can't see video, so I don't know what's going on.
It looks like John dropped out.
No, I'm here.
Or
I'm here,
got
sorry.
Did the Russians attack?
It's a brush. I'm here.
You're just a moisty boy.
I said, hold on a sec. I had a knock on the door.
Oh, okay. I
Family
didn't
life.
hear that. Sorry.
No, but what I was saying was, there are these jobs that high school kids would normally get, right? Now they can't get those jobs. So what are they doing with their time?
Nothing.
Probably not good stuff. You know, maybe they're carjacking people now instead of working.
Oh, the Kia boys. The Kia boys.
And then what is it like? What is that saying? Idle hands are the devil's playground, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Idle hands do the devil's work or whatever.
And where like all this work goes overseas or gets outsourced, and now you have a whole country full of people who can't get work.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, why are we sending apples from like Michigan? Like we're sending apples from the US overseas and then back over here. What the hell are we wasting our time sending them from here over there to back here?
Because it's still cheaper than doing it in the States.
I don't know the story. What are we talking about?
I think it's like a canned food place. They're canning food.
No, like apples. Like go into your fridge, grab a Granny Smith or and that apple's probably like 6 months old because it was picked, sent over to China, I want to say, and then sent back here.
Why did it travel?
Yeah,
to
why
China?
would they do that?
I have no idea, but they do that. You can go ahead and look that up.
I heard one where they did that for like canned food, like it was like canned pears or something. They were basically taking the pears that they grow here, shipping them overseas to get them canned and labeled and all that shit, and then shipping them back. Like, why can't you can that stuff here? But like, it's still cheaper for them to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you look at places like that Temu or Wish or whatever the hell it is now that, they're selling crap so cheap because they're basically taking out the middleman and just selling it right from the factory in China. And that was a problem that they had. Apple fought that for a long time because it was, oh, we're going to build it over in Foxconn. Well, it turns out somebody in Foxconn was stealing all the designs, selling them to another company over there who turned around and made their own phone with the same specs and everything at like a quarter of the price. And it's like, you go to, there's a lot of people on YouTube that these tech guys I watch where they go overseas, they go over to these big shows, these big electronic shows in China and Japan. And like the one guy I watched, he's like, yeah, we go into like the seedy underbelly where it's like, some back alley somewhere in this district, behind the show. And it's literally all these people selling copycat Apple products, Apple phones, Apple MacBooks. They look exactly the same and you wouldn't tell, other than the fact that like maybe the operating system's not the iOS. It might be running Android, but it's still got the damn Apple logo on it. Like they went as far as to duplicate the whole damn phone. They just don't put the same OS on there. And it's like, they're getting away with it. And there you can buy it for like $100, and they're like, in some instances, these are better than Apple products.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so you go to like these websites, and yeah, it's a crapshoot. Your Wish.com, your Temu, or whatever, or your Alibaba. It's probably a crapshoot, but some of the stuff, like you watch these guys that do reviews of this stuff. There's a guy I watch. He does Wish Wednesday. He orders shit. And every Wednesday from Wish, he's like constantly reviewing it. Some stuff's good, some stuff's garbage. It's hit or miss. But like the stuff that's good, he's like, it's better than anything you're going to buy here. Or it's the same quality, way cheaper.
It came off the same assembly line.
Yep. That's the thing. It's like
Jensen, Blaupunkt, Kicker, JL Audio, all of those companies, like the high end companies and the cheap companies,
Yep.
all came off the same assembly line.
20 years ago when I bought that first Samsung TV, I did so much research to figure out like, oh, what was the best one to get. And the one thing I found is that between like
Hitachi.
Samsung, Sony, I think Hitachi was up there, Vizio was one of them, like some of the bigger name brands, they all use the same panel manufacturer.
Well,
So,
I'm talking rear pro, Joe, like the big.
oh no,
the
no,
big
this is like an LCD or LED at the
Yeah.
time, but it's like they all use the same panel manufacturer. So it's like
Mhm.
whether I bought one from Sony or I bought the one from Samsung, I'm getting the same display, the same quality. The
Mhm.
difference is usually like the bezel and maybe like how many extra ports I get on it. You know,
Mhm.
but like I was happy spending a half the price for the same damn quality than if I had bought a Sony one at twice as much. Because what at that point you're paying for the name. Who cares?
Yeah, name.
And
Yeah, exactly.
that's like Dan said. That's a lot of what these people look at. Look at how many freaking Teslas I see on the road. Everywhere I look, everybody's driving a goddamn Tesla now. Like
Mhm.
that's a $70,000 car to start.
I'm not gonna lie. We went to Kenosha last week, um, to drop the girls off, and we were sitting there, and this Tesla Model 3 took off quick.
Yeah.
Like it just at the light, and it just like through the light in probably, I don't know, half a second maybe.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
just like, holy cow! I'm like, I have never seen a car like that get up and boogie that fast.
The
That had to have been a Plaid.
yeah, the plaid, if you look at the videos of the guys that do plaids, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was fast. I mean, it went across, what is that, 6 lanes, 8 lanes of traffic?
Oh, sure.
So it went like across here, and I was sitting, and I was just like,
look up
beautiful
videos.
wrap top too.
Look up videos of the semi, the Tesla semi. Those things, like considering what they're hauling and carrying and how big they are, those things haul ass. There's a video of a
I was
guy
actually,
who gets one past him. He was somewhere in like Vegas or California on one of those big like open highways, and he said the thing like you could see it come up in his mirror as he's filming it. The fucking thing just like roared by him doing, you know, he's like, I'm doing 70 miles an hour, and this thing passed me like I was standing still.
mm,
I
probably
mean,
did get pulled
that's
over.
all electric, you know, at that point. Like you can't, you know. Now I don't
Well,
know.
you
I haven't
figure,
looked at the semis to see how many motors. Like you can buy a Tesla with like a 2 motor, 3 motor, I think.
yeah, dual motor stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but like I don't know what the hell a semi does. I mean, you know, all-wheel drive. I don't fucking know. I mean, but that's
Yeah, I don't know
crazy.
either. I actually was reading something a little bit ago before I hopped on. If you have a Model 3 Tesla,
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's only this one. I don't know. It might be all. If you tint the rear window, you have a possibility of damaging your rear defroster.
What?
Because I
You talking
guess
about like the
there's like
wires that are built in?
a recall or something like that where the defroster is just junk
Ugh.
on all the Teslas.
I see a lot of people complaining about fit and finish on those things to where like panel gaps are just all over the place.
It's like
You know,
that Maserati I worked on.
plastics falling off. Like they're good from far, but far from good. This is kind of
Like
the comment I hear.
like the Maserati. I worked on Alfonso Soriano's Maserati when he was still playing in Chicago. Beautiful car, don't get me wrong. You know, the stereo that we put in it was beautiful, fantastic. But the quality of the car, I would rather have taken like a Nissan,
Yeah.
you know, Altima, Maxima, Juke, whatever, over that because, well, it just the fit, the way the panels fit together, it looked more professional in the Nissan versus,
There's
you know, what, $200,000 Maserati.
there's a guy on YouTube, Tavarish. You might have seen clips of him. He bought that McLaren P1. That
Mm-hmm.
was the one that was in all the viral videos, like floating down the frickin' Florida coastline because when the hurricane came through. It was
Yeah.
completely. It was a $2 million car, right? he bought it for like almost 500,000, essentially just scrap, basically. And he's rebuilding it. And his teardown videos are hilarious because, aside from the engine and like their hybrid system and their hybrid drive because it was electric and their battery, he's like a lot of the components are shared between the other cars. And he's like, there's components that are shared like off the shelf parts that like you could buy from Ford or Nissan, that basically McLaren charges you 400 bucks for. You can buy it from the dealer for like $20.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
And then he was showing like, for the car, the way it was, and like, you could look it up, Google it. There's videos of the car. Literally, the guy that owned it was videotaping it. The storm surge came in. It was in his garage. It was getting shoved around the garage as it flooded, busted through the garage door, and literally floated about 500 meters down the street, and ended up on like an embankment somewhere. And they just totaled it because the carbon tub was all damaged. Well, he said like after they took it all apart and they broke it all down and got all the water out of it, like he was showing on the frame when they take the engine out and they're looking at the frame rails in the back because there was some damage, like the amount of screws and stuff that they just put in there that were like rusted or like just crap, that he's like, why would like they build it this way in the factory? And even like the weld quality, he's like, if I'm someone who's paying $2 million for this, I wouldn't expect to see that, on a car, like,
exactly.
and that's the thing. And I mean, that car is 10 years old. It's a 10-year-old tech that they're running with the East electronic system in there, the hybrid drive. So it's like 10 years ago, that thing was crap. It wasn't worth $2 million, but it's the name. People are paying for it. We got to come up with a car company where you just charge these fools a ton of money and like, we got to make a car without an engine. We'll tout it as like the world's greenest car, pollution free. And literally you're just buying it to sit in your garage. It's a show.
We'll get big long cylinders with a seat and you move with your feet or your pedal.
No, not even that. You can't even open it. You're just buying the body of a car. We'll weld the doors shut. It'll be a showpiece. It'll just sit in your house. There we go. Be like, look, this is my $6 million car. I can't drive it. There's no engine.
Do you think the submarine guy said the same thing?
Hey, he managed to charge $300,000 a person to get into that fucking can and sign their basically life away. I'm sure we could get investors to make a car company.
Yeah, exactly. I
heard now. I think Dan. Did you say that the guy, the partner for that company now wants to start one to go to Mars or something, or Jupiter? The submarine company? Like, what the hell?
It sounds like something that we would do.
I thought you said that. Somebody I thought posted a thing in the channel and the WhatsApp about it, but I was like, come on, like, you know what? I, for one, like, let those people pay their money and go up there. Like, they deserve it if they're not gonna make it back. I'm sorry.
Are Fruit Loops just gay Cheerios?
Can we say that term? Are you allowed to say that? You gonna get us canceled?
Are Fruit Loops just LGBTQ Cheerios?
No, you can't call them Fruit Loops anymore either, right?
Well, that's the name of the cereal.
Yeah, how come they didn't have to change?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be funny.
We had to change the Indians. We had to change Aunt Jemima. Why didn't we change Fruit Loops?
Did you know that MTV's debut date is closer in time to Pearl Harbor than today?
Oh my God. That was what, the 80s? Was that their debut?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
When did Pearl Harbor? Was that like the 38? When 40? The hell did Pearl Harbor happen?
1941. Schleprock.
Oh yeah, December 7th, 1941. That's right. The day that will live in infamy.
It's not for you though, apparently.
No. I knew it was somewhere around like between the 30s.
Unless you're John.
It was between the 30s and 40s.
MTV debuted in what day?
It was like the 80s.
Yeah.
It debuted in was that 81?
August
their
1st, 1981.
their first music video was "Video Killed the Radio Star," right?
Yep,
Yes,
by the
yes.
Buggles.
So you said Pearl Harbor was what, 47?
41. So 40 years,
41.
literally.
41. 41. Same year my dad was born.
Nice. So that was literally
40 years ago.
40 years from
40 years Pearl Harbor to MTV.
and then MTV 81 to today would be
And it's 42.
wow. Yeah, that's oof.
I'm putting that on my Facebook page.
Wow. Makes
That's
you feel
gonna piss off a few
that
people.
makes you feel
That's gonna make you
old.
feel. So you guys know that Aaron Rodgers was hurt, right? Tore his Achilles tendon.
Really? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the first game of the season.
That
There's
sucks.
a new theory about how he's able to come back in a few weeks. If
Adrenochrome.
something no,
He's
maybe
training in Finland.
ayahuasca trips. It actually has something to do with the way I guess the deal was structured with the Packers. That he was never actually hurt in the first place.
So like what was that guy that got killed on the field? Maybe he didn't actually get killed.
DeMar Hamlin, yeah.
Yeah. It's
That
all a hoax.
supposedly it screws the Packers with like draft picks or not draft picks, financial compensation. Like the
because
Packers
he
have
was
to
injured?
pick up most of his contract because he
Oh.
was injured. Because he came back like 4 weeks later on the field in crutches, and now he's kind of walking around throwing footballs around the field.
Well, I mean, torn Achilles.
And he was supposed to not come back for till next year.
But even 10 years ago, that was a career-ending injury. Like you would never play any kind of sport again with a busted Achilles.
Good
Or
not
torn
playing,
Achilles.
though.
But now it's that shit's outpatient surgery or whatever it is, and you're back to normal.
Yeah, it's supposedly some new what's it called? But let's see what the NFL says about Sharon Rodgers.
Sharon Rodgers.
Well, he's not playing though. Just because he's on the field throwing the ball around, he's not.
Yeah.
No, but he
in
said
the
he's
huddle.
supposed to become. He was spotted throwing prior to Monday's game against the Chargers. Somebody asked when he's coming back. He said a couple weeks.
So that puts it right around like Christmas. Just in time for the big game, right?
Do they play the
Yeah.
Packers? Do the Jets play the Packers? Is he going to come back to play the Packers?
Oh my God, that would be. Let's see.
Oh.
No, he's not. It's not on the schedule for this year. Closest he's going to get to playing the Packers is
They're not scheduled to play again until 2026.
Atlanta because both of them suck. Oh, my dang it. All right, I guess I got to get a new linebacker. Sorry, fantasy football stuff.
Got to get your picks in. Got to get your picks in.
They took him down to 0, so we're going to have to do that. So I'll have to do that when we get off of here. Because it's what, week 10? I'm 9-1. So
nice.
I'm doing pretty good. I only got one loss through 9 weeks.
You're starting all Bears players, right?
Actually, I did pick up Deontay Foreman before the game last night.
He's been a beast.
Yeah, he gave me one of my league mates picked him up a couple weeks ago when they played Las Vegas when Bilbo Baggins came in, and he got 33 points from him.
Damn.
I only got 17, but I'm slated to win. So
how you doing in the league?
8-1.
Wow, that's actually pretty decent.
8-1. Yeah, 9. Yeah, we got 9 weeks. Yeah, I'm in first.
Nice.
Are
you guys playing for money?
Yeah, a little bit. Oh man, if I lose this week and my buddy Ross wins, the way it stands right now, I would stay in first because I've got 1,264.10 points. He's got 1,263.26. So less than a point separates us. Ooh, sorry, Ross. Hopefully I win. No offense. People who fight Christmas trees: Mike, Chris, Ricky, Tim, all you guys, shut up. That goes back to high school days. How not to use a pine cone as TP? Well, there's a soft side and a hard. Well, not a soft side, but a side where it might go up and it might go down.
Oh, that's
These are
great.
listener questions. Pay attention to that, or don't use a pine cone.
Yeah, find a leaf or something.
Figure we'll go through some of those.
That's all gross. Pine cone would be a little painful.
I don't have much. You know who is credited with coining the term being a Karen?
Who's that?
Dane Cook, supposedly in 2005.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna Google that. When was this comedy like really popular?
Yeah, around then, because he was on MySpace, and he would like actually respond to people and talk to them, and
What? Wait. MySpace was still a thing in 2007?
yeah,
2005?
Yeah, that's when I first opened to MySpace.
So they started in August of 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still around?
Yeah, it's more music and stuff now, though.
Like bands use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's funny. The Louder Than Life festival. Wow. Well, that's kind of cool though that there's still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Yeah, I agree.
that was like the precursor to Facebook, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Facebook
definitely
started in
think so.
2004. Yeah. God, wow.
What's that?
The picture Dan posted.
Oh.
That's true. 1 and 7. The rest of the. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Bears. The Bears. They're undefeated on Thursday Night Football, 2-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw
But
that.
they're 1 and 7 the rest of the games.
Yeah, and they've won without Justin Fields.
Yeah, was he injured? Is that the thing now why he's out?
With his thumb, yeah, it broke his thumb.
Oh my god, isn't that the same thing that Grossman had? My thumb, I
no,
hurt
wasn't
myself.
it Cutler?
Oh, Cutler was the finger,
It was
right?
Cutler. Yeah. If we would have had Jay Cutler with that defense, things would have been much different. Hell, if we would have put Kyle Orton in.
No, we should have had Caleb Haney. Bring him back. He's the franchise quarterback we needed.
Brian Greasy.
Brian Greasy. Oh my god. Doug Flutie, didn't he QB for us for a little bit? He was our kicker, right? So. He was our kicker, but he QB'd a couple times, I thought, didn't he?
I'm gonna say something that's gonna, not that anybody listens to us, but it's an unpopular opinion, but it's true.
What, that nobody listens to us?
Well, yeah, that too. Jim McMahon is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers ever was.
I agree with that. I think Jim McMahon was the GOAT because that guy had lateral movement in the pocket that a lot of these quarterbacks these days don't have. McMahon could run either side of that field and get rid of that ball, trying to dodge four guys tackling him.
2 rings. Jim McMahon has 2 rings. Sharon Rodgers only has 1.
But that again, see, McMahon was a better mover. He was offensive enough to be able to get the hell out of the way when that 300-pound linebacker was coming at him. You know, a lot of these guys now, they shuffle back and they still end up getting tackled.
I want to know why Aaron Rodgers can move. Have you ever seen him move?
I don't think he moved like McMahon did, man. McMahon was all over the field.
I don't think. I don't think so.
Who's hurt? Who's not? Who wore a Bears jersey to the White House to meet the president when he was going with the second football team he won the ring with?
Yeah. It was after the Bears.
who ironically was the Green Bay Packers.
Well, you know, I think what's funny though is I think the Bears made him who he was. So I think that was kind of like an homage to the Bears for like,
The punky QB.
yeah.
What? He's the punky QB in Chicago. That 85 Bears team are legends
Yep.
in this town.
Super Bowl shuffle, the
Bears.
was it the
The super
Monsters
fans,
of the Midway?
Chuck Swirsky super fans.
Yes. Oh my God, that was the best. That you know
Yes.
you've done it big when Saturday Night Live starts doing skits about you.
When they do a reoccurring skit.
Yeah, they kept bringing that guy back.
And the NFL picked him up. Peyton Manning did something with him for the
Yep.
NFL.
Yep.
Brett Favre even joined him. That was hysterical.
The Bears.
The Bears.
29-4. The Bears.
Coach, what if the Hurricanes' name was Dika?
God.
I gotta go watch all that stuff
Yes.
now.
That was good times, man. That was back when like TV was good
Saturday
to
Night
watch.
Live was funny.
Saturday Night Live was good, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live was funny, and so like their comedy would probably still be funny if they weren't so damn malicious. Or I've just
I don't
gotten
think
more
it's
sensitive.
that. I think it's their, like, you look at some of the crap, like the old like best of Aykroyd, best of Belushi, best of Candy, best of Eddie Murphy. You couldn't do that shit now. There's no way they'd get rid of that. They get away with that now.
Well, they do the Colin Jost and what's the guy, the black guy that Nightly News.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those where they write each other's
Yes.
like jokes?
Yes.
And they're just downright vicious on some
Yeah.
of them. And
The one
it's
guy
just
always ends up writing
hysterical.
like racist jokes for the other guy. It's
Mhm.
hilarious.
Man, Colin, that's kind of racist, and it's hysterical
Yep.
because some of it's lighthearted. They've had some good stuff, but they've lost their humor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the talent, a lot of the talent is not, you don't have another Belushi, you don't have another Aykroyd. Like there's
Adam
no way.
Sandler, Kevin Nealon,
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, Will Ferrell, Phil Hartman, Chris Farley,
Yep.
David Spade, Chris
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Jane, you
they-
ignorant slut.
yeah, exactly. They just, I mean, they always made fun of everybody.
Yeah. Well,
At least what I remember.
I liken today's comedy, I'd probably say a South Park is very similar to that because they target everybody and they
Yes.
stay relevant. Like that was their thing.
And Saturday Night Live used to, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
their stuff, if they made fun of you, you made it big. Didn't
Yeah.
matter whether you were a
Yep.
politician, actor, just somebody that got interviewed and made fun of. If you were made fun of, you made it. Whether you were
Yep.
Clinton, Reagan,
Yep.
George Bush, either George Bush, Obama, Biden, Trump,
Didn't
Dick
matter.
Cheney. It didn't matter who you were. If they made fun of you, they were making fun of you to for the laughs, not for
Exactly.
to be mean. At least I thought it was funny. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's
I
just me
loved
being
it.
more sensitive now.
My dad's got all the VHS tapes, like the classic, best of Eddie Murphy, best of Dan Aykroyd. It's like, well, I'll watch it every once in a while. It's like, oh man, these are like you don't get comedy like that anymore.
Like the Garrett Morris,
Yes.
case scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood with Eddie Murphy?
With Eddie Murphy. Hey kids, Mr. Robinson. Yes,
Yep.
Eddie Murphy probably, from what I recall, saved Saturday Night Live in the '80s.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of them did. I mean, a lot of those guys that were on that show were what really kind of saved it. I mean, '90s is when I think it kind of started to really simmer down, and the talent wasn't the same. But then you also had, you had what was the one with the Wayans brothers?
In Living Color.
You had Living Color. You had Mad TV for a while. Like you had a
Becky.
bunch of other knockoffs that tried to be a Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? It's a different time. I'm surprised they're still around and they haven't ended their damn show yet. But whatever.
I think they're probably just going on name because I mean it's a staple in TV. Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live. You know?
yeah. I mean, you do get they're getting a lot of good musical acts and a lot of good actors and actresses.
Oh
But
yeah.
the
I mean,
comedy itself, like I've watched it. It's like I've tried. I'm like, it's not the same.
mm-mm. It's just not funny anymore. You know, I
No,
mean, you might get a
no.
chuckle here and there, but you know, we used to just roar laughing at Adam Sandler
Yep.
and Chris Rock and Murphy and all them and mm-mm.
Yeah.
So Lauren Michaels, come on, man, get back on the ball. We want Saturday Night Live to come back and be funny.
I think he's just coasting until he's done.
I'm still surprised he's alive, to be honest with you, because how long has that been going on? When did Saturday Night Live debut?
It was like late 70s.
Let's see, Saturday Night Live
75.
season
October 11th.
season 49.
Wow. I'll bet you 50 is gonna probably be their last one.
75. The first broadcast aired October 11th, 1975. Was hosted by George Carlin. The musical guests were Billy Preston and Janice Ian.
Jeez.
Wow. 1975.
Yeah, Lauren Michaels is 75 years old. I'm willing to bet he's pretty close. But now it doesn't like Lauren Michaels also has other TV shows. Wasn't he part of Big Bang Theory too?
Maybe. I don't really pay too much attention to that. Let's see who's mad about. No, I just got some people liking my MTV thing. So.
Oh, he's producer of the new Mean Girls.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. I can't believe they're doing a new one.
Yeah, neither can I. Are we going to see it?
Oh God.
No. Did we talk about Morgan Freeman being Jimi Hendrix?
Last week, yeah, you brought it.
Yes.
They look
Okay.
alike.
Yes. And Jimmy was born, yeah. How early is too early for a Christmas tree?
I think you brought that up though, because your wife already put yours up, didn't she?
Did I bring that up last week?
Yeah, because she had already had it up. Was it the week of Halloween?
Like the day before Halloween when Scarlett got concussed.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Patty Melt also thinks that camping was created by two friends who wanted a sleepover but were too scared to ask their wives.
Wait, say that again?
Camping. It was created by two friends who wanted to have a sleepover
Oh,
but
okay.
were too afraid to ask their wives.
Gotcha. Like adults.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching a lot of there's a guy that does stealth camping in Canada where he'll like go to spots where you're not supposed to camp and he'll camp there and try and be as like stealthy as possible. Steve Wallace, I think is his name. And he does like car camping and stuff too now. It's actually pretty cool. Like I don't know. I mean like some of that stuff like I'd like to go camping, but like it just I don't know. It's like it seems like there's so much to deal with that like I don't know. It like some of the areas he goes seem pretty cool. Like he goes to campgrounds and stuff too to like review them, and I'm like, like okay, that one looks good. But he's up in Canada where, he's in the middle of nowhere anyway. So
it's like camping.
Yeah, like there was one he did. It was like somewhere along the east coast of Canada, and like literally it was like something out of like a painting. It was like just crystal clear, calm lake, mountains, and like trees, and it's like, damn, dude, like Okay, I could do that.
Did you ever watch the TV show Alone?
Alone. Is that the one where they put him out in like the jungle or whatever, and they got to survive?
They go basically they're camping by themselves. You're
Yeah.
dropped into an area like in Canada or whatever by yourself with a handful of things and nothing else.
Okay.
This just in from Patty Melt. Podcasts were invented by grown men who wanted to sit on the phone and chit chat with their homies about their day without judgment.
Hey, damn right, man. That's what we're doing. It's relatable. People
It's
can relate to
relatable.
us. You tell her.
People can relate to us.
We're relatable.
She's phoning in her
Thank you, caller. You're up in the air.
Yes, thank you, caller. I'm not getting any response.
You tell her no comments from the peanut gallery.
You can tell her that.
I usually gotta wait till my wife the next day. She's like, I hear you guys in there. You guys are silly.
Patty Melt says, oh, hold on, I'll just never mind. Yeah. She thinks she carries the show. She ain't even on the show.
Oh man.
She was gracious. As much trash as I talked to my wife, she's gonna absolutely kill me for this one. Because
you're asking her for a refill?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my wife would be like, nope, get your damn self.
she, okay, Negan.
Oh,
she is the relatables. She's like, I am the relatables.
There you go.
Hey, Negan. She's the talent.
We are the relatables.
Hey, I'm the face of the podcast. You're the talent. It's like Milli Vanilli, only different.
You're the face, Dan's the voice, and I'm the comedic backup.
There we go. That works. Patty Melt was gracious enough last week to bring me a refill on my beverage. So
there you go.
As much as I joke with my wife, she's a wonderful, wife, and I love her very much. So I joke with her probably more than I should, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
Laughter is the key.
What's people like the sign that they sell at the Hobby Lobby? Live, laugh, love.
Yeah, live, laugh, love. Yeah, live, laugh, suppress, lay down, suppress a fire, or whatever. Yep. Oh no.
Yep.
There was some breaking news in the football world.
Breaking
news. Taylor Swift is ruled out. So if anybody's got her on, if she's on your fantasy team, please adjust accordingly. So.
Wait. Is that like a thing that we bet on now? Is that like a thing in Vegas that you can bet on?
If she's going to be at the football game?
Yeah.
She's in Argentina. What? Who crossed a board? What? Oh, shit. Okay, some dudes are getting chased. I accidentally opened up Facebook, and the scanner is showing some cars chasing people. I don't know where they're at. Cop cars chasing a dude past the Dollar General. Is that Woodstock? Anyway, sorry, everybody. I had to give the breaking news of Taylor Swift, and Patty Melt wanted to chime in, and she's pretty quick sometimes. When she's feisty, she keeps me on my toes, and it cracks me up.
Nice.
So, what were we saying the other day about decluttering?
Okay.
And this went a little dark because I took it one way and she went another way with it.
Oh no.
I'm being adopted. I thought when we talked about me being decluttered by my mother, I referred to my adoptive mother, not my birth mother.
I gotcha.
And she came, she just kind of looked at me like appalled, I
see what you're saying. Your birth mother got rid of you because you were clutter in her life.
Yeah, my birth mother decluttered me, and she was appalled by that. And
That's
I would
hilarious
crack.
to me.
That made me laugh something fierce. Now, some people may be offended
Ah, man, shit. They
by
can be
that,
offended all they
but
want.
one, it's about me. So if you're offended by something that I'm referring to myself, no offense, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I didn't take offense to it because I was referring to my adopted mother, not my birth mother, and two, when we put two and two together and we realized that she was talking about my birth mother, she didn't reference me being decluttered. I made the reference, and she went darker than I went, and I cracked up when she explained it to me, and I was like,
Nice.
"That is hysterical." So I
Yes.
figured, my adoptive mother was like, "Yeah, you're decluttered. Get the hell out of my
Yeah.
house."
I don't need all this clutter. Get rid of you.
I don't need your ass anymore. So made me
Now,
laugh.
see, at least you can laugh about that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All the
I
other
have
people,
two other-
all the other people who feel offended by that, you can check your privilege at the door.
He said that, not me.
Who's going to
You
take
know.
offense to a joke about you? Your wife? You?
I
That's
don't know,
it.
somebody. People get offended for other people all the time lately. So
Yeah, but I tell those people like those people should worry about their own shit, what goes on in their own lives, because they're probably not perfect. So why would you care
Nobody's
so much
perfect.
about everybody else? Yeah, but
Patty Meld is perfect.
well, you're just saying that because you
Aw.
got to go to bed with her.
Uh-oh. What's that, Patty Melt?
Oh no,
that that's a private conversation. I'll leave that one out.
nice.
It's funny. It's funny, but yeah, no. Somebody thinks I'm kissing up, but I'm not.
You know what though? That's your prerogative, man. Who's gonna who's gonna take offense to that shit? Like there's
Yeah,
other crap in the
exactly.
world they can worry about.
Yeah, a lot more.
If there's people that invested in our lives, let alone anybody else's, like other than their own, then I'm sorry, but like you've got to check your priorities.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when I'm saying something cracked me up.
I
So,
love that, like when you get people that are like, oh my god, the band's broken up and they get so upset, and I'm like, really? That's what upsets you? Like like people who you probably never meet or never know, like
yeah, exactly.
why would that bother you?
Let's see. How about some music trivia? Can you tell me what pop star in 2004's reinvention tour fined workers $5 every time they cursed?
A pop star?
Yeah. What musician slash pop star on her 2004 reinvention tour fined workers $5 every time they cursed?
J-Lo?
No.
I have no idea.
Madonna.
Really?
Anytime they cursed on this tour, she charged them $5. It's like, really?
She had like a swear
Madonna?
jar in the back that
What the hell, Madonna? You show your ass on stage, and
you seen her recently? I don't think she's showing anything, man.
she looked like a damn.
She's like a freaking rubber doll, man. It's crazy. All the work she's had done.
Mm-hmm.
Something ain't right with the people that do that shit.
So I've got like two other questions here, and this was on Facebook posts that I saw because I've been seeing a lot of this like cartoon character, comic book character versus that comic book character.
Okay.
So this is if you have Superman and Batman merged into one versus Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor merged into one. Who wins?
I'm gonna say Superman or Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor because you got 3 against 2. I mean,
But they're all merged into one. So you have
right. But
you
that's what
know
I'm saying. Is like you got 3 that are merged into one, so you got 3 different people's powers, and over here you only got 2 different people's powers.
yeah, but one's indestructible.
Well, I
One's the
mean,
greatest detective, and with the right amount of prep time, is unbeatable.
I would think You know, Thor's a god.
Who got
He's-
beat by Thanos?
He's indestructible. You know, Captain
Iron Man
America is probably like kind of indestructible to a degree. I mean, Batman's still a person, so is Tony Stark.
So is Iron Man. Yeah.
You know, Superman.
I'm saying Superman and Batman.
Superman's a god, right? Is he considered a god? He's the son of a god, isn't Kal-El or whatever a god?
I guess you could qualify him, but
Yeah.
you know, I think there's a reason why they nerf every bad guy in the Superman comics is because they don't want to. Superman's supposed to be, well, Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't see.
I'm gonna stay with Superman and Batman. Sorry.
I'm gonna say Thor, Tony Stark, and
because
Captain.
Thor got smoked by Hela.
Yeah, but this is Superman and Batman. I mean, Batman's got all the cool toys. That's about it.
Unless they have kryptonite, you know, Superman's gonna mop the floor with them.
See, I think Superman and Thor would be a good matchup. Because like Thor
Maybe.
could probably hold his own against Superman and vice versa.
Well,
And then you
Superman is
basically got
also at it all the time, and Hulk-
yeah, but then you basically got Cap and Tony versus, you know, Bruce Wayne, which I think is a lot better.
Captain America, I wouldn't. I'd probably think Tony Stark would be a little. If it was Batman versus Iron Man, how about let's simplify it? Batman or Iron Man? You technically have the same
Yeah.
character.
The only drawback I see is Batman didn't like to use guns. Tony Stark's got rockets and lasers and all that crap.
Well, Batman's got guns. Look at the Batmobile. Look at the Batwing. The
Yeah,
Bat
that's
Cycle.
true. But I thought his whole big thing was he didn't like to kill people.
Yeah, it doesn't kill people.
Yeah,
Same with Superman. It's their one rule.
right. I mean, Cap's killed plenty of people. We know Thor has. We know
Mhm.
Tony Stark has. I mean, I think in the terms of like ruthlessness and power alone, it's probably Cap, Tony Stark, and Thor are gonna just mop the floor with him.
I'm still staying Superman and Batman.
I mean,
But Batman
Superman.
versus-
What
Batman
is
versus
Superman's
Batman.
biggest power? Like he's got like the laser sight. That's really the big thing.
Indestructibility, speed, ability to fly.
He's super.
From what I understand in the comics now, Superman is ridiculous.
Yeah, if
Like,
you look
he's
at
got-
like the Dark Horse version, like post
Like
DC
Kevin
comics.
Hector?
No. Like he's talking about the comic book character.
Like his strength is like exponential now.
Yeah.
But he's also like, you know, him and Batman are the flagship. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, Wonder Woman's cool. I love Wonder Woman. The Flash sucks. Aquaman sucks. Cyborg
Well, now you got
sucks.
the Marvels. That movie just came out. You got Captain Marvel. She's indestructible.
Marvel sucks.
I see. I don't think so. I
I don't like. I was never a Captain Marvel fan.
She's basically the female Superman.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
I mean, there is a Supergirl, right, or Superwoman, but that's
Supergirl.
that's basically Captain Marvel. She's like the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I was never
what
a
about Vision?
Vision.
Vision was more of like a god, wasn't he? Because he was.
No, he just
like
had
walked
an
through
Infinity
walls.
Stone.
Well, but I mean, the Infinity Stone essentially made him a god because he was also what's his face? He was Jarvis, right? He was
Yeah.
the AI. I mean,
He was AI.
but he was the embodiment of that Infinity Stone at that point, so he was essentially a god.
Because didn't this wasn't this is it the Celestials that made the Infinity Stones, or am I getting DC and Marvel mixed up?
No. I think it was a slide because they were the ones that made them and then scattered them after realizing how powerful they were.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah,
because that's when Thanos becomes the what the hell the term they give him? He becomes the
Mad
god.
Titan.
Yeah, but he's like he becomes like the one, the all knowing. What the hell they call him?
One above all.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I thought the one above all was. It's been a long time since I've read them,
yeah.
so I'm not. Yeah. So, and then I've got another. Uh, what is it? Captain America, the Chris Evans Captain America
Okay.
versus Batman, but it's Rob Pattinson's Batman.
Um,
I'm
I
going
didn't, I
Cap
didn't
because I don't
see,
think
I didn't see that Batman movie, so I couldn't tell you how he was.
it was a good movie, but I don't think there's enough experience to take on Cap.
Ah, okay.
Like if you went with like Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, uh, like a more Ben Affleck's Batman, I think I think I might change my answer. But Rob Pattinson versus Chris Evans, you know, I think I'm
Yeah,
going Cap.
probably. I would say the same. I mean, Pattinson's werewolf character or vampire character was idiotic anyway.
Where's
What-
Blade when you
what-
need him?
Let's
What's
just it as themselves.
so like Chris Evans versus Robert Pattinson?
Yeah. Why are we dressing them up?
Like so we could just do like the MTV the death match.
Yeah. Yes.
Heck yeah! I'm trying to see if I
Let's
can
bring it
find
back.
some of the.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Let's monetize that.
I think at that point Chris Evans probably stomp Robert Pattinson.
I heard
He
dirty
might know
rumors
like
that. Sorry. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry, I was interrupting.
Did we
oh I didn't have anything important to say. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I've been hearing a lot of dirty rumors in the Marvel world that uh, RDJ and Chris Evans might be coming back.
really?
Yeah,
Well, but that's what I said.
lot.
Like, I mean, you got
a lot of RDJ. Not so
you,
much Chris Evans, but a little with him.
but you've got the quantum storyline now to where they could basically
multiverse,
reverse.
yeah.
Yeah, they could reverse it. And now that we know that Doctor Strange can essentially reverse everything and undo it, like why couldn't he undo Thanos?
Since they're introducing X-Men into the Marvel world now, do you think Chris Evans will come back as Captain America or Johnny Storm? And if he comes back as Johnny Storm, are they going to make a reference to him looking like Captain America?
I wonder if
Well, we're gonna bring Jessica Alba and those guys too.
Maybe.
well, are they going to do a Marvel versus DC type thing where they fight each other, or are they going to fight against the common evil?
I think it's either going to be Secret Wars or Armor Wars or one of those that's further down the road.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking probably Secret Wars from what I'm reading.
Well, didn't they have that the Secret Wars show on Netflix? Was it?
Was it?
They're Disney, the one that tanked, like came out not too long ago. It didn't do that good.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the timeline.
You're an 18th, Martin Rivers said it's.
Yeah, Marvel Secret Wars came out on Disney.
Was it what's the next one that's coming out? Hold on. It's the supposedly. Sorry, I didn't expect to bring this, question up.
Oh yeah, it was called Secret Invasion. That's what it was.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, the next one's supposed to be Secret Wars, right?
I think so. Yeah, because the invasion is basically when they get here, because that's supposed to take place after Captain Marvel, when the creatures, the Krell or whatever the hell those guys. I can't remember who they were. The guys that come in at the end of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, those guys look similar to the bad guys in Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sorry, I was watching Nemesis the other day. I'm looking for the. Is this it? Doctor Strange. What if Thor: Love and Thunder? No, okay, those are already out. I'll have to see it and bring it up next. But yeah, I think it's Secret Wars or Armor Wars.
That makes
Civil War, Shield, Spider-Man. These are all old. I'll have to look it up and look it up. But yeah, I think that's what. Those are the rumors that I'm reading about daily.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Kind of nice to see RDJ come back because I mean I think
They're
he played
gonna
that
they're gonna
character.
play they're gonna play into the quantum verse or
Mhm.
the multiverse side of things with Doctor Strange.
I was reading something that there were 4 Steve Rogers in Endgame.
You mean
I have to look
4
that up.
like
There were
different
4
different
Steve
actors?
Rogers. Like in the movie, how there were 2 that were fighting. One was old because in the end of Endgame, he went back to Peggy, so he was
Oh
old.
yeah.
And what was the 4th one? I forget the 4th one.
Well, there was one when he was young, right? Like when it started the whole thing with him, the super soldier program.
Oh, this was in no, this was in the one movie
Yeah, but
in
I
Endgame
thought they
when
had the
they were
young one, didn't they?
when they were time traveling.
Oh, okay.
I forget the 4th one, but yeah, the 2 were fighting, so there's 2, and then a 3rd one was him being old
Okay.
man Cap, and then like I said, I forget the 4th one. I can't remember.
Would that have been? I'm trying to remember when in Endgame wasn't. Would that have been when he went to the?
When he went back after he returned all the stones, he went back. He time traveled back to Peggy Carter, married her, and lived out his life. Which means
Yeah.
technically, the blonde girl he kissed in
Oh, that's right, because he
uh,
lost his power, his ability, right? That's right.
something along those lines.
Because yeah, he became normal again, essentially.
Well, he still had the strength. Look at the
But
one
he didn't.
soldier.
He didn't. He grew older. That was the whole thing. Is he couldn't. He outlived her.
It didn't stop his. It didn't stop his aging.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole thing. Was he basically outlived everybody he knew?
Because he froze in the ice, so his aging slowed down.
Oh, I thought it was something with the like a an after effect of the super soldier program when they gave him that serum.
No, I think he had some sort of healing, regeneration, but it wasn't like a Wolverine. But because you figure what when he went into the ice in the first one, he was what 17.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So he's 17. His aging slowed down because he was frozen. He was basically in cryostasis, thawed out. So he was probably 19, 18.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So
20.
it was the super serum interacting with his cells. Uh, the effects of the super serum, how it interacts with the cells. At one point, he spent decades fighting an alternate Earth before returning without appearing to have aged. And in other storylines, he spent years in Dimension Z before returning to Earth 616, only have a day had passed and had not aged. Okay.
Ultimately, the person that's going to be, in charge is the writer. But
Yeah, yeah. So he thought he was frozen when he was 27.
it was that late in life.
He was born in 1918 and frozen in ice in 1945 and thawed out in 2011.
In the first movie, it shows that it makes you feel that he's much younger than that.
I think so, yeah. But this is I guess based on the comic, what they said in the comic.
Yeah, which I would go by the comic versus the movie, because I mean they nerfed Thanos, or not Thanos. They nerfed the Hulk
Yeah.
and Infinity War.
So that's right. He was born. So he then continues to age until Avengers Endgame, which takes place in 2023, at which point he would have aged to be about 39. While he'd been born 105 years before, he then travels back to 1945 to spend the rest of his life with Peggy, assuming he returns to 2023 when Peggy dies in 2016, spends another 71 years alive, meaning he has aged up to 110 and has existed for 176 years. So they're accounting for all the time traveling he's done too. Huh. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, see, when they start getting into that crap, because like you figure the time travel with the quantum side and you know, Ant-Man and all that crap now, and then Doctor Strange being able to change the multiverse and using that time thing or whatever that he used in Spider-Man.
And his Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah. That basically
Dark
screwed
Hole.
up the whole Multiverse of Madness, you know, storyline.
Yeah.
But that they see in the comics, they go into that whole butterfly effect when he starts using those powers in the comics too. Because ultimately that's what leads to Thanos becoming the god, basically, because something happened when he rolled back, like Thanos was able to realize it and defeated that whole like reset.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I got a feeling Patty Melt's gonna want to come to bed. She's
Yeah, well, it's going on 2 hours anyway, so
yeah, so we can call it.
yeah. I think we lost
I don't
Dan.
have a lot.
Dan
Dan, you
passed
still
out.
there? I think you might have.
He's face down in a bottle.
Now.
Damn, we thought we lost you.
Oh.
No, I think we're good. I
No,
mean, we're going on 2
here.
hours. Cool.
Yeah, Dan, you got anything you want to talk about? You're being quiet, and I feel.
Oh no, I got it out of my system before you got on, I think.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
And then
So I'm just a loudmouth. All right. Whatever. Wouldn't be the
Loudmouth
first time.
braggart.
Just me, baby. Just me. That's when we go to
Showbiz, baby.
next year when the
Comic-Con, C2E2.
when the Ren Fair opens.
Oh, yes.
We should probably all go with different versions of Ash.
There you go.
I'm good, Ash.
You're
I'm
bad,
bad,
Ash.
Ash. Goody little two shoes. Goody. Good, bad. I'm the one with the gun.
Give me
But-
some sugar, baby.
We're gonna go. Yeah, we need to go.
Oh, you muted yourself, Eric.
Yes, I know, because the smart Ash over in the room next door.
Oh, okay. Nice.
My beautiful bride.
That's right. Cool.
So, all right, gentlemen, everybody that actually made it this far, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep. Everybody
I'm
for
gonna log off
watching
so
and listening.
that Patty him up and go to bed. So,
Yep. All right, man. I'll talk to you guys later.
talk to you later. Have a good one.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.